Welcome everybody to episode 22. Is that they call Little Joe at 22 at the crap table? Anyway, straight talk commerce, right? And I think that's very relevant because this episode is about when you find the customer that works, don't gamble. Find other customers like those, right?
Yeah.
So craps was top of mind. Ian, great to see you. Welcome.
Yep.
Welcome back.
Now I know you had Raymond Hagerty at your last UCLA session, who's genius, who we need to have on the show, Wayne. And I think we should even run the YouTube of his talk that was so genius within one of the podcasts coming up. But I think, that's some added content I'll bet our 6,200 listeners will love, which is pretty amazing when you look at just the growth and the diversity of people with one common denominator: make life easy, drive revenue.
Let me correct you real quick. We have 6,100 subscribers. Okay. The people that have watched this are 45,000 people that have watched us. So to put that into perspective, that's a college football game. Okay. That's more people that have ever paid attention to you, David Layton. And, that is, it's a pretty big thing,
Well, I would think everybody would want to subscribe when they come across this channel,
100%. And it has been brought to my attention that I may be a little hard on you during these episodes. And I want to assure any potential subscribers or anyone that even watches this that will never decrease. I will never ever stop tormenting you, and I just it feels good. I look forward to this and recording it for their pleasure, by the way.
That's fine. Ian's a little sensitive. I'm ready to take the beatings for both of us. All good. But
sounds like a line that you've used in your childhood, David.
The older brother, right?
The good news is last podcast, we talked about how to identify your ideal customer. And we talked about why. Really quickly, let's go over that very quickly. The reason that you want to do this, you want to take a look at your analytics and you want to find customers that you want more of. No one wants customers that they're, having to deal with all the time. You want really good customers. So what we're trying to do here for you is identify who they are. And today we're going to tell you the many ways of replicating, of making more of those customers, which will in turn make less of the ones, the Karens, the people that you don't want to deal with. So very valuable 2-lesson set on the Straight Talk Commerce podcast last week and this week. And you're welcome.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right in. How to replicate your best customers. 12 tips. And let's start the countdown. First one, use lookalike audiences in digital advertising. We talked about this a lot before, creating that persona, right? The person that you're advertising to. Now, let's use our own podcast as an example here, Wayne. Our demographic is, what did you say it was? Was it 18 to 34? Like, what was when we look at our demographic?
Mainly men, and guess what? I've figured out that it's really not geographic specific. As a matter of fact, we're getting the same. We are promoting to the demographic 100% correctly, and I have been able to float that between Philippines, India, United States, Germany, and it remains tight. It remains the same, and that promotion is not costing us any more based on geographic, where we are geographically, where we're pushing geographic. Because occasionally I will change it to learn more information.
Right. See
And
how
the
it
good
responds.
Right. The good news is we have a very solid audience in the Philippines. Hey, shout out to the Philippines. We have just as tight an audience at just the same parameters in India, in the United States, and not so much in Canada, but I think that's more of a governmental thing.
Didn't we have Brazil? I remember when you
Yep,
pulled up the list,
Brazil.
right?
Brazil
Brazil.
is Germany.
Yeah.
There are places on the planet, believe it or not, that this
We
podcast
are
has
famous.
right that they've actually there are places on the planet, looking at you Canada, that has banned promoting our YouTube channel, our podcast, in that country.
Really?
Yes. And it's because some of the things that we say may be construed, we're not necessarily talking about it politically, but they do. That's how tight and locked down their freedom
Wow.
of speech has become. That's on them. That's not on us. We're going to continue to do what we do. But the point is lookalike audience, and let's define that a little bit for our audience. What a lookalike audience is, okay? Everybody carries around a cell phone with them. It's constantly barfing out data to whoever wants it. And that phone knows when you're in the market for this or when you're shopping for that. And those advertisers desperately want that information so they can know when the best time to advertise to you is. If you just bought a car, it may not be the very best time, excuse me, the best time to talk to you about, buying a truck. But financing, it may be a great time to talk to you about. So you want to build, you have a customer that has already purchased from you, and now you want to find somebody that looks in age, looks in income, looks similar to identical. And that's a very good way of marketing. It cuts your advertising bill not in half, not by a third. It can be the difference between hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, certainly over time.
Wow. And especially now with AI, it's scary using it to find, the lookalike customers and
It's
um
very easy, super easy now to take a look very quickly at your analytics using AI, Hydros, using some of these tools that we can even, I'll include a couple links. It can be a little expensive if you don't know exactly what it is you're doing, but once you have it locked in on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google, YouTube has a really good algorithm. Once you have it locked down, it more than makes up for it.
absolutely.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
that ties into our second one, which is the referral program. And David, with Witty, you've been really good at creating referral programs, both from a B2B and also from a B2C. You want to talk a little bit about that?
For sure. I think look, it's important to have something set up, whether it's promo codes,
Mhm.
whether you have, some of these web systems, referral systems are great. There is so much you can do. And encourage your customers. I don't even know, I used to say, oh, well, let's give them something, which we want to certainly give them props and maybe, even create, gamify it and contests, but we find a lot of our members just get so much value. They're excited to share it with friends. It's almost like a gift. So I think when you can create that, and don't assume one, one of our members like, oh, I love Witty so much. I don't even want to tell anybody at my company. It's like my own little secret. I'm like, listen, Monique, share the love. I love you. You'll always be right here. But hey, that's what Witty's for. It's like,
If your
AI
business operations feel like a grind, you're missing out on the magic of artificial intelligence. Whether you're in retail, manufacturing, finance, or any other industry, AI is a game changer. From automating mundane tasks to optimizing your supply chain, AI can transform how you operate. We specialize in creating tailored AI solutions that meet your unique challenges and goals. With our expertise, you can improve efficiency, reduce errors, and make better decisions. Discover how AI can revolutionize your business. Contact us today at www.toolessentials.ai/consultation.
And it's been just such a a obviously the pandemic and a lot of the things that happened, it was tough and it was a curse on a lot of people. On the flip side, though, some of the good things that came from it is just the push to technology, having Dr. Antoine leading our leadership session, right? You guys from Beirut, where there's bombs going off. We have Human coming in from Israel. We're able to have Raymond zoom in from Ireland, Martin from Norway. Right. So I think it's pretty incredible just what you can do now with these platforms. And I think, Wayne, that when you think about your customer, right, and when you have digital products, you could really look at some of these non-English speaking countries targeting the English language speakers, and then you're going to get much less of a cost per click or per customer, right? Have you looked at that?
Well, as long as you engage them in the language, one of the things that I pride myself on, no matter what language someone makes a comment on Straight Talk Commerce, I reply to them in that language. I take the time to go in. Hey, what did they say? Okay, David, you've learned something that most people never quite pick up on. And that is, if you want, you will incentivize things you want more of. So you find a way of incentivizing people to refer Witty to you, to bring you more customers, more members to Witty. Same thing with Odyssey. We have a joint venture with Odyssey. And you make it very easy, to refer to you, make it very clear what it is they're referring. And when they do it, either because you've asked them to do it or whether they've done it and you never even asked them to do it, you provide to them an incentive to do it again and again and again. You don't just take thank you and move along. And I think that's a lesson to everybody out there. Incentivize those things you want more of. And if you do that, and I'm doing it in the positive right now, if you do it in the positive, you'll not have to do it, or you will do it less to the negative.
Totally. No, for sure. And I think that when you bring someone in to Witty, and this is what we've talked about for years, you're just adding value to the community, right? We actually just hit WGU, Western Governors University, is one of our partners. Shout out to them. And just, they want to give to their students. And some, WGU, some are younger people just starting out. Some are people working on different careers. But we just had our 300th member from there join today. And, it's clear that they really recognize it and they're doing, they're pushing. Because, right, it's like, if you want to, you can get what you want now. You can connect with people, right? Just all the tools we have out there now is pretty insane. And me just working in the tech, in tech, as I know both of you do too. I don't think we understand, we're like, oh, everybody knows about that. Everybody knows about Notebook ML. It's like this much.
No.
Right? And people don't even get it, with AI. So I think the more we can empower people, leverage the community, that's how they can incentivize things too, right? Make sure that your customers are happy and they're going to be breaking the walls down to refer their friends.
And that ties in
Correct.
perfectly to our third one, which is leveraging customer testimonials, right? I think we all can do a better job of reaching out to our customers and saying, hey, do you mind dropping a note on Google, on Yelp, on our podcast in the comment section? And I actually was helping Michelle with this with her dental office, and at first her staff was shy about asking for reviews, right? Like this felt salesy and all of that. And I created a script, and the script was something like this, which is, we really appreciate you coming in today for your appointment. It would mean a lot to the office if you don't mind dropping a review for us. And on the back of every clipboard that they had was the QR code, because the trick is you need to get the testimonial right there and then. The minute they step outside of your business, they're on to something else.
Yeah.
While they're a captive audience, it needs to happen right there and then. So just having that script and the QR code at the back of the clipboard really increased the number. And it was that simple trick. So try to find ways to make it easy, right, for your customers to drop you a note. If they have to think about it, if there's multiple steps, you're just putting a barrier in between you and the awesome notes that they can drop for you. So
One of my favorite shows on YouTube is called How Ridiculous. These three guys are Australian. Have you ever watched them?
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah. They do some really incredible like kind of like Dude Perfect type content.
Right.
Okay. But one of the things that they do that is absolutely genius, and most people, it goes right past them, they don't even notice it, right? When someone has a comment, or to encourage more people to make comments on their channel and increase engagement, and that increases the amount they can charge advertisers. They always ask a question, and then they say the first comment, the first person to guess this correctly will pin you, will pin you, will pin you. And that means they'll take your comment and pin it to the top of their comments. And that's a big deal in the YouTube comment world. And that is a very good incentive on answering the question. And if you get it right, then they remind you, hey, we'll pin you if you get this correct. Now, why do I say that? It increased their engagement 42%. 42%, meaning that the engagement, they almost doubled the amount of engagement with that one move than they were getting before. And that adds up to a ton of money when you have 44 million subscribers or 20 million subscribers or 6,000 subscribers. Because advertisers are looking for engagement. That's what they want to see. Are people watching this? Are they taking a look at this? Your customers that come into your dress store. If someone has made a comment and it's brought you more business or given you a nice thought and you're not responding to that, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I'll say it again. You cannot let those things go past you. You just can't.
Absolutely. And that actually is a good tie-in to our next one here, which is tailoring your content marketing, right? So you have the audience that you're engaging with. Now give them more of what they want, give them more of what they commented on, give them more of what they liked. So you can create that perfect buyer persona, right? And I was talking to a company today. They're a tech company, and they want to get into the healthcare space. And one of the advice I gave them was try to make sure that you have an idea who your customer is and who your customer isn't.
In today's
Be ve-
rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
Be very clear, because if you try to boil the ocean, then you're a generalist, and especially in healthcare, a specialist is literally the highest paid professional in healthcare. So people want specialists. So you can't come in and say, yeah, we do that too. Oh yeah, we do that too. What is it that you're successful in other industries that you want to bring into healthcare? And what are the things that you also don't do, right? So if someone says, hey, do you do cybersecurity? We actually don't, but I can refer you to, another business that's their specialty. And that for me adds a lot of credibility, right? When you tell people that is not my field of specialty, that is not my area of expertise, but let me connect you to someone that I do know that specializes there. It adds to your credibility. So same thing with your content, making sure that you're targeting your content to whoever your buyer persona is, really drills down, and you get actually a deeper, what Seth Godin calls your 1,000 true followers, right? For us, we're up to 6,000 now. But these are the people that are gonna, evangelize about your product.
Totally.
I have a very good friend of mine that's an attorney. He does divorce and criminal law. And we were talking about that one day, and I said to him, I said, look, what part of the law do you really enjoy?
Right.
And he was, look, I really enjoy helping people through divorce. That it's very lucrative to me. And I make a lot of money doing it, but I also enjoy, coming in and taking something very painful to people and trying to make it less painful. A lot of attorneys are, sharks, they're cutthroats, blah, blah, blah. And I like to be the antithesis of that. And so I said, let's build you a website that is going to be tailored toward divorces, less toward that criminal law that, you don't want to put another DWI back on the road. You don't want to do, a shoplifting case. They're never going to learn. The 20th time you've defended somebody for the same crime. And at the same time, you are going to make your practice way more lucrative. I talked with him tonight, as a matter of fact, before we came in here, and that system is working absolutely brilliantly. He's doing far more divorces that are, less time consuming. He's got a larger staff, and the criminal law stuff has kind of waned a little bit. And so it's actually improved his practice. And everybody, whether they're a dentist, whether it's some type of a general store, whatever, it has the ability to do that. You pick the things the customers that you like dealing with, or the things that you like selling and bringing to people, and do more of that, and your life is a whole lot easier and happier.
And that leads us to, what do you do for your VIP customers, right?
Yep.
I have a really cool story. So Jaguar is a sister company with Range Rover and also Aston Martin. And Aston Martin is the official, car of the James Bond franchise. So what they did is, if you have one of those three brands, they created a premiere before the last James Bond movie came out. A week before, they had an event for Jaguar, Range Rover, and Aston Martin customers. And they had the whole red carpet, they had champagne. And this was here, actually, at South Coast Plaza. Daniel Craig was supposed to come out if not for COVID, but he was going to be the main person. But the amazing thing was, like, three stories of the parking lot was all Aston Martins and Jaguar and Range Rover. And it, I don't think that it cost that much to get the movie out a week sooner. I don't know. But boy, did it create a lot of buzz. And even after that, every time they had some event, it would be packed. Like, if you don't RSVP right away, it's gone. And now, every time something new comes out, a new product of either of those brands, you have people calling you, "Hey, Ian, said you were interested in the Range Rover, this and that. Do you still want it? If not, you can refer someone, and we'll give you $1,000." And just having that call is insane. So doing something for the VIP customers. And I would like to toss this to you, Wayne. For our VIP listeners who are always making comments and liking and following, it would be nice to do something towards the end of the year, Christmas time, for that group. And David, you were talking about doing a special edition for the region that follows us the most. I think that's something that's worthwhile looking into.
Totally.
Like, if we can it'd be amazing if we can do like a feature region like Brazil, and maybe have a few business owners from Brazil that we can invite and talk to and listen to their pains, their successes, and what they've done differently, hopefully because of what they picked up here.
Well, we have an open invitation to the people that listen to this. If they have questions, they can, ask specific questions, or if they have a podcast themselves and want to do a guest spot on our podcast or exchange spots on our podcast. You telling that story about Range Rover and Jaguar reminded me of what Bugatti does. Have you guys ever heard of what Bugatti does?
Yeah. It's
They don't
the French
advertise at a car
company.
show. You will never see Bugatti at a car show.
No.
They go to boat shows, they go to yacht shows, and they put their car next to mega yachts.
So it looks cheap.
It looks cheaper. And I sat here while you were talking about that, Ian. I'm like, no, I'm going to tell you something. most major car brands, they tie in, they do consumer marketing and all that kind of stuff, right? But to me, that I appreciate genius.
Feeling isolated and disconnected? You're not alone. Many men struggle to find a community that truly understands them. Introducing Odyssey, a place where fellowship and brotherhood thrive. Join us on a journey of personal growth and meaningful connections. At Odyssey, we believe in the power of brotherhood. Our community fosters brotherly connections that last a lifetime. We come together to serve our communities and make a difference. Hear from those who have transformed their lives with Odyssey. Odyssey gave me the brotherhood I was missing. I found other business leaders and entrepreneurs who share my values. Together, we make a real impact in our community. Odyssey is more than a group, it's a brotherhood. Join us and discover the power of true fellowship. Take the first step towards a more connected and fulfilling life. Odyssey, where fellowship, business, and brotherhood unite. For more information, go to yte.com.
And I think it's Bugatti. I am almost 100% sure
It
that
is.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But that to me is thinking out. I mean, that is really smart if that's what they're doing. And I do believe that that's what they're doing.
Yeah, the Bugatti Chiron is the one that they push a lot, and it's less about the car, but more about the lifestyle. That's
Sure.
what they're selling, right?
Yeah, they want you to think of when you're buying your mega yacht,
Right,
this is
right,
the
right. Who's
automobile
picking you up?
equivalent of the mega yacht. This is what you want to roll up to it in. Look,
Absolutely.
Bugatti, you guys want to sponsor us? This is free of charge, but yeah, I appreciate that kind of genius. That's pretty good.
What do those
Yeah,
run?
and what was it?
What do those run?
They're like
Oh,
$250,000
a million.
right? Oh shit, really that much? Dang.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you see, I have not been in the market for a Bugatti in a minute, so wow.
Yeah, and it goes up to like 4.3 if you do like it, because what you talked about the yacht, what they can do is they look at the paneling for your yacht and they can recreate the same paneling for your car. So
Magic
as you're
car.
moving from the yacht to your car to your private jet, it all has the same paneling. So that's the level of customization that they do, which is absolutely insane.
I heard that it has a special like entertainment system that runs Straight Talk Commerce on a loop. Is that true?
That's
Probably
right.
is, because I mean, who doesn't want to hear me screaming into a microphone 24/7? I wouldn't blame them. And again, no charge.
That's right. But yeah, it's amazing how these companies now are doing a lot of crazy. I don't know if you've heard of this. Four Seasons Hotel, they have this it's like for their VIP customers. You still have to pay, but they converted a 737, and it's the Four Seasons Safari, and it's like 225,000 per person, and it's all four seasons, right? And one of them even has John Legend singing for you privately. It's absolutely bananas what they do for their high-end customers. And so, and it doesn't have to be crazy, right? Like other stores, like here in South Coast, what they do is they just open up early for you. Like they're open an hour early. And if you're a VIP customer, you can come in and you just show your invitation. So they're not actually giving you anything, right? You just have the privilege of being the sixth people in the Louis Vuitton before the masses come. That's simple.
No, but I think to the people that would appeal to, that
Yeah.
is actually something that would totally appeal to them.
Absolutely.
That was well thought out.
Yeah.
They want to feel special, and that's, that's a very good manifestation of that, by the way. I think that's a brilliant way of doing that.
Another one is the exact opposite. So there's a small shoe store in South Coast. Um, what they do is the opposite, wherein he would send me pictures. He has my size. He knows, what I like. Said, Ian, this just came in. I know you have, this in tan. This would absolutely complement this and that. And let me know if you want it. I can charge it to your American Express ending in 2005. And then if I say yes, in 2 days, it's at my doorstep. So it's the opposite. Like my special thing for you is for you not even to come
Don't come
in.
in. Yeah.
And that level of customer service, it doesn't cost much, right? I take a picture of something, I send it to Wayne. Like, hey Wayne, this is your size. I know you have this in blue. Do you want it in yellow or whatever? And if Wayne says yes, boom, 2 days is right there. So
I can see that appealing to men way more than women. Women look at shopping as an
yeah.
experience, men as a torture.
Trial.
And okay, I'm speaking very broadly, but that actually would appeal to me. Hell, I don't even go to the grocery store anymore. We have it all delivered to the house.
Right.
So yeah, I totally get that.
And lastly, just to end it, if you do go in to the store, they have a single malt in the back from France. So they ask you, hey Ian, you got time for a single malt? And then you go to the back, it's all leather, from the shoes that they make. And you're in this like smoky cigar type, dim lights, and you're having a single malt. And it doesn't cost much. Maybe that thing is maybe $15 per shot, maybe. But the shoes are ridiculously expensive. So, so the point is you don't need to spend a lot. It's more about the experience, which leads us to number 6, is the customer experience. To your point, Wayne, for some people, it could be the exclusivity of being there without people bothering them, especially here in SoCal, right? If you're Kim Kardashian, you ask if you can, have, Louis Vuitton open early for you, so people, aren't there to bother you. For some, it's not even going in, like just send it to the house. And for some, it might be there's this lotion brand called Kiehl's. It's an old brand, Khiels. It's an old brand, same thing, South Coast. But what they do is if they have a new product, they have you in the system. They call you up and say, "Hey, David, I know you have dry skin, for example, and this product that came in is perfect with the routine that you bought last month. If you want to add it to your routine, it's perfect, but use this during the daytime." And it's insane. Like they know you, they know your skin type. And when you come in, you meet with uh not a dermatologist, but I can't remember the name of the
Oh, you
specialist.
talk about like a
Esthetician or something.
Esthetician, yeah. And they have like this almost microscope level of zoom that shows you like here are your dry spots and all of that. And this is what we're going to use for this part. And when you come in and come back in 2 weeks, we'll show you the effect. It's absolutely bananas because you are the before and after.
Yeah.
So again, how much does that cost? Not much, right? So you optimize the customer experience. It could be faster shipping. It could be free personalization, like Apple, like you can add like 3 letters or whatever to your phone. Whatever makes sense to your business, just adding that little extra goes a long way.
without a doubt. Go ahead, Wayne.
Imagine a world where your professional growth knows no bounds. Welcome to Witty.com, celebrating 35 years of empowering innovators. Join a community where trust and influence are at the core. experience exclusive training programs designed to elevate your skills. Our annual summit brings together the brightest minds from multiple industries. As a member, you'll gain access to invaluable resources and support. Network with like-minded professionals who share your passion for innovation. Benefit from mentorship programs that guide you towards success. Celebrate your achievements with a community that recognizes your efforts. Witty.com is more than a membership. It's a journey of growth and success. Join us in celebrating 35 years of innovation and excellence. Take advantage of our special anniversary membership offer today. Unlock your potential with workforce innovation, trust, and influence. Visit Witty.com and become a member today.
Now, I was going to ask you, David, for number 7, expanding to niche communities. You've been able, Witty, to expand to, and not just expand, but in a way, redefine your audience over the decades, especially now. What would be the secret sauce that you can share with folks about expanding to new niche communities?
Well, look, there's certain things within the Witty community. AI, you could say every vertical needs that. Leadership, every vertical needs that. Well-being, we all need that, right? So then it's, kind of really choosing the verticals and the niche you're going after, right? There's riches in the niches. I don't know if anybody's heard that
That's
term.
right.
Daniel Edwards, who's
Yeah.
a friend and a member of the community, and a genius, reminded me of that. There's riches in the niches.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm trying, like early COVID as we switched to online or just, did much more of our content online. It's like, wow, I can be the center of this whole universe. And we've been trying to, I've been trying to kind of cover, areas have not been, it's been kind of mediocrity across many. Some we've had more traction in than others. But I think it is, look, choosing your niches, it kind of relates back to number 6, right? Knowing what your customers want. That could be different for our members that work in ag tech
Right.
versus
Absolutely. Absolutely.
versus, um yes, anyway. There's
Well, you're
riches.
never going to know the answer to that unless you ask the questions. So,
Right.
engaging your audience and asking them what kind of, Dave, you do this very well with the sirens of Witty or Odyssey, and you asking people what it is they want to see next. We do kind of the opposite with Straight Talk Commerce. In a way, we, I do I will find out what the world is asking about. I guarantee you our next podcast is going to be one of the most searched terms for last week. We're going to answer questions that people are actually asking. And we don't boil it down to we boil it down to the largest possible audience, but we distill it here. Here's where the distillation goes. Okay. And so
Right.
that's really what you're trying to do when you're expanding to these different, communities. If you know that you have a sub community in your larger community and you're trying to build a lookalike audience, you're trying to get more of that niche. Well, you're going to find out from them what content they're engaging with, and you're going to create more of that content, whether it's, Minecraft tutorials or whether it is, Straight Talk Commerce. You're talking about e-commerce with people.
Yeah.
You're going to give them what they're asking for. It's about the customer. Look, there are a lot of podcasts out there, a lot of stores that sell what they want or talk about what they want to talk about. And their track to success is much longer and much more it's much longer, and it winds around a long time. They have to spend years on becoming successful by having large amounts of subscribers. one of the keys to business is finding out what your customer is clamoring for and greasing those skids so you get to success as quickly as you possibly can. How about that?
No, I like
Absolutely
it.
agree.
I like it. And look, and it really kind of moves us right to number 8, offering those
Right.
loyalty programs. Because when they see it, you know, and it's hard not to, one of the large language models, as an example, it gets to know me. So now the value I'm getting is it by understanding my business and making me not want to do a lot of work across other language models, have my center. When I get my coffee at Starbucks, I'm building up points. I know I get a free one, right?
That's right.
They're just the little things. And when you can make it easy, which I think Starbucks does do a great job just with the apps and the location.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're not all Starbucks and have the budgets of apps for that, but we will, but when you can do it, we have the Witty app in development right now. And just compared to when I looked at it, a few years ago, just the technology's come so far. There are easy things you can do. So I think, and just writing code with AI, right? And agent technology. We actually
Right.
have the agent session coming up this week. I'm not sure when people will listen to this podcast. We'll continue that. So it's all about the agents and expanding us as humans. And then coding with AI, right? I mean, there are just so many things. And whether you're a coder or you're just an expert in your vertical, don't be intimidated by the technology. The companies have spent trillions just to make it easy for you. So I think this is what Wayne, we want to educate the users about this, right? So I think people, oh, AI, oh, this, I have to be so technical. No, you bring your expertise to the vertical to these things.
Well,
Absolutely.
I do the Doomsday Minute, AI Doomsday Minute, the Wayne Altman AI Doomsday Minute, just so I can poke my finger in the robot overlord's eye. I will tell you guys a very quick story about the loyalty program. And I used to work for I work for car dealerships from time to time. Somebody will talk about me and another car dealership will approach me and I'll help them with their business. And one in particular was in Canoga Park, and it was a very small dealership, and they had a very big problem because normally what happens is with a car dealership, the used car lot is what brings people on your lot, and you try to sell a new car to those people who are coming to buy the used car that you were looking at. Okay, that is the loss leader, is those used cars, and they were having trouble getting people on the lot to look at their used cars. So I went to Costco, I think it was, and found a little bear. And I told our photographer, take pictures of every car on the lot, told him, hey, take a picture, put this bear, for every car, you have a series of pictures. I want you to put this bear in a picture, one picture in the car. He came back to me, he said, okay. I took pictures of all the cars, and well, I looked and every picture had the bear in it. I said, no, you got to go do it again. One picture of every single one of these cars has the bear in it. So what I did was I took and created an ad, and in our ads, this bear would be there. And if you came in and identified where the bear was in the picture, I had a special gift for you. And people started flooding in from all over the place to tell us, oh man, I saw the Dodge pickup that you have. I want to take a look at that, but I know where the bear is. I know where the bear was. And the sales manager was like, what in the hell is going on? And I
That's
said,
really
well,
cool, Rick.
we had tons of people on site. The owner came in, just like sees this massive crowd, like we'd spent $5 billion on a special event, comes into my office and he goes, how much did this cost me? I said, well, it was $8.94 for the bear. And then after that, it's about it. And he flipped out.
Thanks for coming to today's Zoom meeting. Let's break the ice by starting with a bad joke. A minister, a priest, and a rabbit walk into a bar. The bartender says to the rabbit, "What can I get you?" "I don't know, I'm just here because of autocorrect."
That is unacceptable, horrible.
You upset the baby.
That was as boring as your Zoom background.
People will think that I'm smart if I have books on a shelf behind me.
But I think one title is Green Eggs and Ham. Another one is Winnie the Pooh.
They were real nail biters.
If you subscribe to the Adobe Creative Suite, use Photoshop and Midjourney, you have all the tools to create great backgrounds. Like this one. I created the background in Midjourney, drew the birds in Illustrator, made them fly in Adobe Animate, and saved it as an MP4.
Companies can create a library of backgrounds for all their official Zoom interactions.
Does anyone want to hear another joke?
It is getting late.
You can buy great backgrounds now or join Zoomback Pro and create your own. Go to zoomback.pro for more info.
Out. He then sent me to the other dealership to do the exact same thing, much larger dealership. But the point of that is, look, it doesn't take, opening an hour early and being Louis Vuitton, or it doesn't take, advertising next to super mega yachts, like if you're Bugatti, okay? Every single one of the people that are listening to this has something innately special about their business that you can showcase. And if you put your mind to it, you can come up with either loyalty programs. We didn't even talk about Monopoly, McDonald's Monopoly. I mean, that is one of the biggest. Come back in. Here's a free thing of fries. Come back in and try and get Park Place so you can. I mean, good grief, the amount of business that shoveled. I mean, look at us. We're all super fat because of that. It worked. Okay. So these loyalty programs, if you put your mind to it, can explode your business into the stratosphere.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And like
Absolutely.
you said, it's about targeting the customer, which really takes us right into the next one, the email segmentation, right? It's like,
We know Wayne doesn't like email.
It's not that I don't like email, I don't like junk mail. Now, I wanted to talk about this one.
segmentation is, right, Wayne?
Yeah,
If you're giving
exactly
somebody
right.
something that they're aligned with.
If you take, David Layton, if you take your email, okay, and the people that are currently, giving you membership fees every month, right? And you created email for them that incentivizes them to bring you other people, that's one thing that's awesome. And I am looking forward to reading. And by the way, this cannot be some dry sales email. It can't be. This is a friend is sending you this email. I'm sending you a funny video. I'm sending you a funny joke. I am really trying to appeal to you as a friend. Now, that's one segment. Those are the doers. Those are the people that are actually trying to bring you something. Then you have the rest of everybody else is getting a sales email, or I'm trying to make you my friend. I'm trying to woo you. We do the same thing in our romantic life, by the way, you guys. You don't talk to every woman the same way you do to your wife. You get your crap knocked out of you if you do that. We segment our romantic life. We segment our business life. This is what we're talking about. Those people that treat you extremely well and that are providing you with an income, providing you with a livelihood, they're to be treated special. They're to be given special perks. Great customer service is a very, listen, it would take nothing to send a golden ticket email to every one of those witty members that have been giving you an email, or every one of Louis Vuitton's, and say, listen, this is your golden ticket. Here's your number. When you call, you're going to get red carpet service. You're going to get, there will be no putting you on hold. Your complaint will go immediately to the person that can fix this. Everybody else gets Robo Annie, the AI circular logic. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. That's how this is the smart way of using AI too, by the way. So anyway.
Absolutely. And here's something that we've been talking about, and Wayne, you might be able to help with this, which is collaborate with influencers, right? Get people who genuinely, influencers who genuinely like your product. Or if you don't have them yet, send it out for free to people who you think might like it. And in exchange, just have them do a shout out. And I think that collaboration is 1 + 1 = 3 or 10 or 30, right? It's a synergistic effect, and it helps both brands. So
first thing a company should do, whether they're in skincare, whether they're witty, whether they're Melody Clouds, whatever, go into TikTok, go into Instagram, and put the hashtag whatever your company's name is. Find those people that are already talking about you and have them collaborate with you on further content. That's the first thing. There are so many women, and I happen to know one. Karen Hill is amazing, genius. She goes out and buys makeup, goes out and buys these things on her own, and gives a review and is building an Instagram and TikTok channel that is just killing it right now. And she's going out to her friends and saying this lip gloss and this bronzer, and just really learning how to be an influencer, because that's the key. That's the key. A lot of companies right now are very shy working with influencers, because a lot of people got in really quick and they don't influence anybody. The sad fact of the matter is they never sold a product. They were not a value add for the company. And these companies spend a ton of money on people that couldn't influence you to take your next breath. And that's a bad thing, dude. When you can't even convince someone, hey, you may want to breathe again, that's that's a problem. Okay. So you want to make sure that when you collaborate with an influencer, and I think you should, that person actually influences first people, and most importantly, the segment of people you want more of. Do not go on a hunting influencer, a hunting channel, if your idea is to sell more hand cream or whatever. Make sure that they are they cohabit, that they match. Make sure that you've done the lookalike. Make sure that their customer is your customer. That's who you want to reach, and that they have influence over that segment.
Right.
And it represents your brand. In my mind, one of the best examples of this is Rolex. So Rolex, their target audience are people that strive for excellence. So you have the Roger Federers of the world, right? You have the Michael Jordans of the world, and Michael Bublé, and not only did they just slap a Rolex on you, they actually have stories that go with it. And Michael Bublé's story is one of my favorite. He said that his dad was gifted a Rolex, and he loved it so much he kept it on, even while taking a shower. And what he would do is he would keep his hand outside of the shower.
The dirtiest arm on the planet, because he wouldn't take the Rolex off.
Right. And then, he got famous and whatnot. And Michael Bublé was approached by Rolex to be their ambassador. And now he's the one that has his hand outside of the shower. So that simple story, right? Obviously, it was very impactful for me. It stuck with me. But that tells you, like, finding that right mix of the people that can represent your brand and add to it, and also something that would make them also look good. So it's a give and take relationship.
Well,
which,
you've heard stories. Sorry, I mean,
no, no
Stefan,
worries.
you hear
Yeah.
stories all the time of this influencer, that influencer trying
Right.
to trade influence for a vacation or a stay in a
Right.
hotel or, whatnot. And look, all of that, that's all well and good. But you have a lot of people that are trying to do things in this genre that absolutely hold no sway. I tell you what, I thought you were going to use the queen of all influencers, Kim Kardashian, and talk about. I mean, listen, when Kim says something, when Kim says jump, people say how high. I mean, they
Absolutely.
buy what that woman is selling. And I had a conversation about, I don't know, 2 years ago with someone, and it almost got physical because you know how loyal I am to Mr. Beast. And, I'm about to go out on a limb here. Kim Kardashian is probably one of the smartest businesswomen on the planet. And back then it was $2 million to sit at a table and just pitch to her. Okay. So here's somebody that supposedly had no talent, got into whatever influencing through the back door, literally got through there the back door, doing, porn videos, a thing that she's famous for, sorry, that's the truth. And yet, here's a woman that is a billionaire and growing, and her sister actually picked up even more from her sister and is surpassed
Kylie.
her.
Yep. Yep, her skincare product is blowing up. Yeah.
Hold on, one more thing. Remember a couple of years ago, Lori Loughlin, she has a daughter that was wanted to get into USC, right?
Yep.
Wanted to go into USC. And they spent like $600,000 to get this kid into USC, which I think is fine, by the way. I'll say that again. It is fine. Using whatever influence you can to get your kid into school, spending money to get your kid into school. That 600 grand paid for the attendance of 4 other kids to get a college education. Okay. So I got no problem with that at all. But here's where my problem is. That daughter was making $1.6 million a year in her own business, influencing from her bedroom floor.
Yeah.
That's what I would have imprisoned that woman for, interfering with that. You mean to tell me? Say that again, Dave.
Isn't that the aspiration of why they want to send her to USC to begin with?
Right? If you're smart enough to make 1.6 million a year, you belong teaching at USC, not attending as a student. I would throw.
She wanted the parties.
Look, and by the way, she deserves it. If you're cranking in 1.6 million a year, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. I mean, that is as long as you're responsible with that money, I'd make sure that she had good advice. I was giving her I'd be getting advice from my kid at that point. But as long as, I cannot imagine sending my child to a university that's only going to beat out the entrepreneurialism from them. They're going to beat it out of them. So why in the world would you send your kid to an atmosphere like that when they're already doing what you couldn't do?
Right. Yeah. And who are the teachers that are going to be teaching her?
Holy, right? They're not making
1.6.
Jesus, you got life completely screwed up again, Yeah.
And look, and I think every topic we discussed today really takes us to the last 2, which we can almost combine, right? It's analyzing customer feedback and improve, and just using the data to do that, right? Data can tell us so much, and it's like we can collect all the data we want, but if we're not using it for the
smart decisions,
customer feedback, shift what we're doing, not getting stuck in our ways, being agile, That's what's really going to take everybody to the
Sad
next
part
level.
about it is 90% of the businesses that I talk to do not collect those analytics, even to the Google Analytics, totally free. They do not collect web analytics at all. They have no customer data. They're not doing that part of it, let alone then in turn using the data. They don't know the first thing about using the data that they've already accumulated, if they're accumulating it. So look,
True.
if you've learned nothing else from the last hour that we're talking about, number one, you need to keep track, use these, analyze your customers, the people that have actually given you money. You need to analyze that. You need to make sure that you are keeping track of that, and then learn how to use that data to create more.
Yep.
Or
Absolutely. Well,
make life hard for yourself and go out of business.
Yeah.
Your choice.
Right. And look, and I think when we have that first Straight Talk Commerce session, I think we're looking at early December, really just for our listeners to come in, let us know what they need. Do they need structure? Maybe somebody says, Wayne, they really don't know what the F you're talking about. When you talk about Google Analytics, which we had a website, which I think a lot of people are in that space, but that's why we are here to simplify things, give them the tools they need, and give them the support that they need to be successful.
absolutely.
Well, I'm re-going through G4 Analytics right now, and they have added so many features and so many functions to it. I mean, look, on one hand, I kind of see our listeners, being intimidated by it. It is a lot of very granular information that you have access to. But guess what? There are AI programs that will create reports for you, and it distills the information and points you in the right direction. So we can be of help when it comes to that, for sure.
Yeah. And I've been digging into Gemini, right? Which is kind of at the Google, right? Because I think it's like Gemini and Llama 3. Anyway, we'll get more into that from the AI think tanks happening every week. The Straight Talk Commerce session on Zoom coming up in early December. We'll be bringing digital health back soon, leadership, well-being, it's all there. Great show tonight, fellas. Ian, final thoughts.
Yes. Again, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that number one, you know who your best customers are, right? You need to identify who your best customers are. Once you do that, figure out a way to retain and attract similar customers and provide them with the best experience possible. And as Wayne pointed out multiple times, you don't need to spend a lot. And in some cases, money actually isn't the number one motivator. It could be time. It could be free shipping. It could be coming in early. It could be letting them know you have a new product that's, aligned with their skin type. You need to divorce the idea of providing great experience equals spending a lot of money, and be
Could be a
creative with
$9
that.
beer, right? The $9 beer that Wayne created.
Yeah, the bear that was under $9 that Wayne created. It's the experience that people look for and a sense of exclusivity. And as you're doing all of this, look at the data. What does the data tell you? What works? What doesn't work? And be honest with yourself and pivot. And if you do that, you'll keep your best customers and you'll attract even more of them. So with that, thank you guys. This was great. I learned a lot myself, and I look forward to reading the comments.
Dave doesn't.
Awesome. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next
A lot
time.
of fun. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, we can stop